Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You guys know what? There's a story that's truly heartwarming and shows just how solid the chemistry is between BTS members, especially between RM and Jimin in the process of making the 2026 comeback album. And trust me guys, this story will make you respect RM even more as a leader and lyricist, while also making you appreciate Jimin's dedication as a vocalist even more. So make sure you watch until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So guys, we all know that RM is BTS's main lyricist, right? He's the brain behind most of BTS's meaningful and deep lyrics. RM is known for his ability to write lyrics that aren't just catchy, but also have deep meaning, clever wordplay, and flow that perfectly fits with the music. From their debut era until now, RM has written hundreds of songs, and every line he writes is always carefully crafted with mature consideration. So when there's news that RM willingly changed lyrics he had already written to maximize Jimin's vocal strength, this isn't something simple or ordinary, guys. This is huge. This story started circulating from insiders who are close to the production process of BTS's 2026 album. According to these sources, this incident happened during a recording session for one of the tracks that will be a highlight of the album. Jimin had already entered the studio and was ready to record his vocal parts. The lyrics had already been written by RM, the melody had been perfectly arranged, and technically everything was ready to go. But when Jimin started trying to sing his part with the existing lyrics, something wasn't clicking. Not because the lyrics were bad or the melody was wrong, absolutely not, but because RM, with his extraordinary musical intelligence, realized that the lyrics he wrote, although good in terms of meaning and flow, didn't fully maximize the unique strengths of Jimin's voice. Imagine the situation, guys. RM is BTS's leader, he's the main rapper and lyricist whose work has been recognized worldwide. The lyrics he writes always go through a long and thoughtful creative process. But at that moment, RM chose to put his ego aside and focus on what's best for the song and for Jimin as a vocalist. He didn't get stuck with his pride as a writer. Instead, he immediately realized that there was an opportunity to make Jimin's vocal performance even more powerful if the lyrics were adjusted. And guys, that takes incredible humility and artistic maturity. So what did RM do? He literally stopped the recording session and said, "Wait, I think we can make this better for your voice." According to people who were in the studio at that time, Jimin was initially surprised and even a bit reluctant because he didn't want RM to feel like he had to change the work he had created with such effort. Jimin, being the humble person he is, said he could adjust the way he sings to fit with the existing lyrics. But RM insisted. He said this wasn't about Jimin adjusting, but about the song needing to adjust for Jimin, because Jimin's voice is a unique and precious instrument that must be utilized optimally. RM then sat down with Jimin, and they had a long discussion about Jimin's vocal characteristics. They talked about his range, about where Jimin's voice sounds most powerful, where he can showcase his falsetto in the most beautiful way, which moment is perfect for growling, and where the transition from soft to powerful would create maximum emotional impact. This wasn't just a technical discussion. Guys, this was a conversation between two artists who deeply respect each other's craft and are committed to creating the best possible art. What makes this story even more special is the detail about what specifically RM changed. According to sources, RM changed several crucial things in the lyrics. First, he adjusted the syllable count in certain parts. Why is this important? Because the number of syllables determines how many notes need to be sung and how fast the transitions between notes are. By reducing or adding syllables in specific parts, RM could give Jimin more space to sustain high notes, which is one of Jimin's vocal strengths. Instead of cramming many words into one measure, RM made the lyrics more spacious, allowing Jimin to hold notes longer and really showcase the beauty of his tone. Second, RM changed the placement of certain words to align with Jimin's natural vocal flow. See guys, as a rapper, RM really understands rhythm and flow, but flow for rap and flow for singing are different. Certain words, or phrases that are perfect for rap, might not feel natural when sung. So RM carefully chose words that aren't just semantically meaningful, but also phonetically perfect for singing. He picked words with vowel sounds that allow Jimin to open up his voice, words that naturally lead to high notes, and words that give opportunities for dynamic variations. Third, and this is probably the most touching, RM restructured several lines to create an emotional crescendo that aligns with Jimin's vocal abilities. He arranged the lyrics in such a way that the emotional journey of a song follows the natural progression from soft, vulnerable Jimin vocals at the beginning, building up gradually, and then culminating in powerful, emotional high notes at the climax. This kind of lyric writing requires not just skill as a wordsmith, but also deep understanding of vocal performance and emotional storytelling through voice. This revision process wasn't quick, guys. RM reportedly spent several hours rewriting and fine-tuning. He tried multiple versions, testing each one with Jimin in the studio, asking for feedback, making more adjustments. And what's beautiful about this whole process is the collaboration. This wasn't RM dictating what Jimin should sing, or Jimin demanding RM to change everything. This was true artistic collaboration where both parties contributed their expertise, listened to each other, and worked together toward a common goal of creating the best possible song. Other BTS members who were in the studio during this session were reportedly amazed by what they witnessed. According to insider Suga, who is also a producer and songwriter, said something like, "This is why RM is our leader." Jin commented about how detail-oriented the process was and how much thought went into every single word choice. J-Hope, who is known as a member who's very meticulous about performance, appreciated how RM was thinking not just about studio recording, but also about how the song would be performed live on stage later. And guys, the result of RM's revision? Absolutely phenomenal. When Jimin finally recorded the final version with the revised lyrics, the result was nothing short of magical. The producer we discussed in the previous video, who said Jimin's vocals are truly different, specifically mentioned this track as one of the moments that made him speechless. The combination of lyrics that were perfectly tailored for Jimin's voice and Jimin's emotional delivery created something that even exceeded RM's own expectations. What makes the story resonate so deeply with fans is because it perfectly encapsulates what BTS is all about. Over the years, one of the things that makes BTS special is their chemistry and teamwork. They're not just 7 talented individuals performing together, they're truly a team where each member supports and uplifts the others. RM as a leader always puts the group's success above personal pride. And this instance with Jimin is a perfect example of that leadership and brotherhood. If we flash back to BTS history, this isn't the first time RM has shown this kind of flexibility and consideration for members. There are many documented cases where RM adjusted his own parts or changed arrangements to accommodate other members' strengths. In a 2019 interview, RM once said that as a leader and producer, his job isn't to showcase his own skills, but to make each member shine in the place that's most suitable for them. He said something along the lines of, "When each member shines in their own way, that's when BTS, as a whole, shines the brightest." And this philosophy really shows in the 2026 comeback album. According to various sources, this album will be the most balanced BTS album in terms of distribution and showcase of each member's individual color. Every member will have moments where their unique strengths are highlighted, and for Jimin specifically, with a combination of his evolved vocal abilities post-military service and RM's thoughtfully crafted lyrics designed to maximize those abilities, fans can expect some truly unforgettable moments. Jimin's reaction to RM's gesture was reportedly very emotional. According to sources, after the final recording, and when they listened back to what they created, Jimin was moved to tears. Not sad tears, but tears of gratitude and fulfillment. For Jimin, who, as we know, is a perfectionist and often hard on himself, having his leader and brother take such care in crafting something specifically to showcase his voice meant the world to him. Jimin reportedly hugged RM and thanked him profusely, but RM, being RM, humble as always, just said something like, "This is what we do for each other. Your voice deserves the best lyrics I can write." This kind of brotherhood and mutual respect is exactly what makes BTS different from many other groups. In a music industry that's often very competitive and ego-driven, BTS shows us that success doesn't have to come from individual glory, but from lifting each other up. RM could have easily stuck with his original lyrics, justified it with his experience and expertise as a lyricist, and it still would have been good. But he chose excellence over easy. He chose Jimin's success over his own convenience. And that's what makes him not just a talented leader, but a truly great one. For fans who might be wondering, Will the story somehow affect RM's artistic integrity or credibility as a lyricist? Absolutely not. If anything, this makes RM even more respectable as an artist. Great artists aren't rigid, they're flexible. They understand that art is about effectively communicating emotion and connecting with the audience, not about stubbornly sticking to the original vision when there's room for improvement. The best lyricists in the world always consider the vocalist who will deliver their words. This is standard practice in the music industry, but what makes RM's case special is the level of care and detail he put into it specifically for Jimin. Industry professionals who heard about this story have been praising RM's approach. Several producers and songwriters in Korea commented on social media about how this is an example of true craftsmanship. One notable producer tweeted something like, "A lyricist who can set aside ego and rewrite specifically for a vocalist's strengths is a rare gem. This is what separates good songwriters from great ones." Another music critic wrote an article analyzing how this collaborative approach between RM and Jimin might set a new standard for how K-pop groups approach their music production. And guys, we have to remember the bigger context here. BTS's 2026 album is their first comeback as a complete group after almost 4 years. This is a moment that's very significant not just for BTS, but for the entire K-pop industry and millions of fans worldwide. The pressure to deliver something exceptional is immense. And under that kind of pressure, the fact that RM still took time to carefully craft and revise lyrics for Jimin shows incredible commitment to quality over speed. RM himself in past interviews has talked about his writing process and how he approaches lyrics. He once mentioned that writing for BTS is different from writing for solo work because he has to consider 7 different voices, 7 different styles, 7 different colors. He said it's like being a painter with 7 different brushes, and his job is to know exactly when and how to use each brush to create the most beautiful painting. And in this case with Jimin, RM perfectly demonstrated that philosophy. Looking forward to the album release, this story also raises expectations about the quality of the entire album. If RM took this much care for one track, for one member's part, imagine the level of attention and detail that went into the entire album. Fans now have even more reason to be excited, knowing that every song, every line, every note probably went through a similar level of scrutiny and refinement. This isn't an album that was rushed or made with a good enough mindset. This is an album where every element has been carefully considered and optimized. For ARMYs who have been following BTS since debut, this story probably feels very on-brand for RM. He has consistently shown this kind of leadership throughout their career. From the tiny practice room where they started to the global stadiums where they perform now, RM has always been the steady presence who prioritizes team over self, quality over quantity, and artistry over commercial considerations. Stories like this remind us why BTS has lasted this long and achieved this much success, because their foundation is built on mutual respect, genuine care for each other, and unwavering commitment to their craft. What's particularly striking about this incident is how it reflects the evolution of both RM and Jimin as artists. RM, who started as an underground rapper with a fierce independent streak, has grown into a leader who understands that true strength lies in collaboration and flexibility. He's learned that being a great lyricist isn't just about writing clever lines, but about creating words that serve the song and the performer. This maturity didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of experience, countless hours in the studio, and a genuine desire to grow not just as an individual artist, but as a team player. Similarly, Jimin's willingness to engage in this collaborative process, to openly discuss his vocal strengths and weaknesses, to be vulnerable about what works and what doesn't for his voice, shows tremendous growth. Many artists, especially those who have achieved Jimin's level of success and recognition, might feel pressure to simply adapt to whatever is given to them, to prove they can handle anything. But Jimin's honest communication with RM about his voice allowed them to create something far superior to what either could have achieved alone. This kind of honest artistic dialogue is rare and precious in any creative field. The ripple effects of a story extend beyond just this one song or even this one album. Young producers and lyricists in Korea and around the world are taking note of this approach. In an industry where speed and efficiency are often prioritized, where release schedules can feel relentless, RM's willingness to slow down and get it right sends a powerful message about artistic values. It tells aspiring musicians that it's okay to revise, it's okay to change direction, it's okay to prioritize the final artistic product over ego or convenience. So guys, that's the beautiful story about how RM willingly changed lyrics to maximize Jimin's vocal strength for the BTS 2026 album. It's a story about leadership, brotherhood, artistic integrity, and the pursuit of excellence. It's a reminder that behind all the glamour and success of BTS, there are 7 individuals who genuinely care about each other and are willing to sacrifice personal convenience for collective greatness. And honestly, this is exactly why we love BTS, not just for their music, but for what they represent as artists and as human beings. If you're touched by the story like I am, please hit that like button, share this video with fellow ARMYs, and drop a comment telling me your thoughts. Are you excited to hear the result of the collaboration between RM's revised lyrics and Jimin's evolved vocals? Which track do you think features this special moment? Let's discuss in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with more BTS updates. Borahi!